Use the source.
Okay, we want to look at some more stuff in StatCrunch. Using the same example as the last couple videos. We have a number of employees at 20 randomly selected fast food restaurants in a city. I've already done some work with it in StatCrunch, and so we want to look at how to do some column statistics now. So if I jump over to StatCrunch, this is some work from the previous videos, and now let's just summarize how to do the column stats real quick. So you go to Stats, and it's Summary Stats, and you can do it by columns or rows, but my data is done in columns. So I can go Columns, and now you can select any column you want, or if I hold Shift, I can select multiple columns, or if I hold Control, maybe I could select the first and the third column or whatever. So I'm just going to do some summary stats of the number of employees. And there's some options here. I'm not going to go into those, but here's where I can select what statistics I want. So N, that's the number of items. Maybe I want to know the mean. Maybe I want to know the standard deviation. Maybe I want to know the 5-number summary. So if you're not familiar, that would be the minimum, Q1, the median, and so notice they're adding these in the order I'm selecting them, Q3, and the maximum. Maybe I want to know the sum of that column and the interquartile range. And so as I add these things, they're put in here, and that's the summary statistics that'll be given to me. I have a couple other things I can do. I can ask it to give me some percentile options here. I could also ask it for some other statistics. And when I'm done with all this, I could ask it to store this in the data table. So why don't I throw some percentiles here? So 10, 20, 30, 40, whoops. And I'm going to store these in the table just to show you what that looks like, although that's not something I typically do. And now I will hit compute. And now all that stuff's in the table. So let's see here. N is 20. The mean of the number of employees is 20.85. The standard deviation is 9.297. The minimum 6. Quartile 1, medium, or quartile 2. Q3. I got my max, the sum of all the data, the interquartile range, and then this breaks it down into percentiles for me by inputting those digits in there, the 10, 20. So the 10th percentile mark is 9.5, the 20th percentile mark is 12.5, etc., etc., etc. If you're unfamiliar with what the percentiles mean, that's fine, don't worry about it, but it just shows you how to do it. Of course, I didn't need to put that and store that in the table, but I did. But if I didn't want to, which is what I usually don't do, let's just grab a couple of these, not all of them like I did before. Let's just do that much, and again the number of employees. And I'm not going to store it in the table this time, I'll just hit compute, and then it spits out a little window like this. And the nice thing is if you're like, oh, wait a minute, I needed the interquartile range. If I hit Options, Edit, I can go back in and, whoops. Yeah, I'm holding Control and selecting things. Median, and if I want to add the interquartile range, I can do that. And now the interquartile range is part of my output. And so if I need these, I could write these down and do what I need to do with them. All right. And so, you know, for example, if this was the table for doing standard deviation by hand the long way, the next step from this table would be to figure out the sum of this column. And so I could go to Stat, Summary Stats, Columns. I could grab that column, and then all I want to know is the sum of this column. So if I hit sum, compute, and here's the sum of that column, which would be a value I would use to calculate the standard deviation if I was doing this the long way.